Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Back on Track with Snowfall. And the music's done. I'm going to head into the mixing stage now and we'll come back and talk about that in a little while because I'm starting to figure out what I need to do. The main change that's come about since the last time we spoke is the improvement to the harmony, or what I think have been significantly improved. They were a bit mishmashy and I was learning how harmonies work, and I've done a lot more reading and listening and thinking about it, and we've recorded a few more sections, and I've also added some male harmony. Yes, I am singing on my own song, Hide Your Children. There's a re-recorded guitar solo, a couple of other bits and bobs. Let's listen to it and then we'll come back and have a chat.
Lost in our dreams.
So I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's good to go, and you'll see I've renamed it Snowfall Mix, and you'll also see that all the VST instruments have now been burned to WAV files, so it significantly reduces the CPU overhead if it's not having to process all those instrument sounds. I've also centered everything. So previously, when I'd been writing the song and still assigning parts and the guitar solo is still panned, but for the most part everything's been centered because it's inappropriate, I've now determined / discovered, to start worrying about pan when you're still writing the song. Get everything burned to WAVs, get to this stage where everything is now an audio file, and then start the final mixing process. There's no point panning stuff before I've begun the final mix. That doesn't make any sense, because those decisions as to where things are going to sit in the sonic environment are what are determined during the mixing process, and I haven't started that yet. So that was a recent level up moment. I watched one of these YouTube videos on top X things to learn from mixing, and one of them was a bullet pointed list of these are the order in which you mix things, and panning was right near the end, panning, mastering, done kind of thing. So everything's center, and that makes things sound less exciting. If you're listening to it in headphones, there'll be things about version 2 that you would prefer, because things are bouncing backwards, left and right. But that's not what the song's about at the moment. We want to get that clarity of what does the thing sound like. One of the important stages of mixing is listening to it in mono to make sure we haven't got phase issues or any kind of ugly, you need to be able to listen to it in mono. People listen to things through single speaker like phones or whatever. So that was just a naivety on my part to start panning things too early. So I brought everything back center, and it does sound flatter as a result, no question. So that's that, and it's nice to have everything mixed as a WAV file. Don't have to worry about the different VSTs, and Machine has now been output so I can see the WAV files as opposed to it being like an internal Machine project. So all of that's good, and we're just about to begin the mixing. I'm doing this video as I've exported everything to WAV, set everything to center, finished all the music, basically kind of signed it off, stage 1 done, and this is just before I go into the mixing process with nothing else to be done. So we're really going to get to hear that comparison. I've saved this project, I've got an output of the file exactly as it is, and I'm going to import that file as one of the reference tracks that I use to mix against. Again, this is something I didn't do with Hummingbird, my last project. I'll put a link somewhere to go and have a look at that one. But I'm learning stuff. That's the whole point of this exercise, that as I get to the end, a place I've never been to before, I'm learning new things, and the importance of reference tracks is one of those. And so I'm going to use my own piece of music as a reference track against which I will mix. So I'll say, well, from this point onwards, if I make things worse, if I compare to my reference track and I think, I preferred it in the reference track, then error. So that's the importance of this being a milestone. Okay, let's have a talk about the various musical motifs. So obviously, me being introduced as a vocalist was a real light bulb moment. I thought, well, I can't sing. And I proved that while I was recording this stuff. The moment I try to do anything harmonically complex at all, it absolutely falls flat on its ears. What I can do is sing a single note for a period of time, and sometimes go from one note into the next, as long as it's not too big a jump and I'm not kind of wavering around 3 semitones trying to find where I'm supposed to be singing. I do absolutely suck, but I can do enough for me to be able to pitch correct it and smooth it out later. And that's what we've got. So this is a lot of me singing oohs and ahs. bring Pauline in.
Come to play.
Let's do that again.
Our stories carry on. Although, when all is said and done, it's the songs that we share, like some olden love affair, where lullabies come to play.
I think it sounds good. I think our voices sound good. Obviously, I'm a good 2 octaves lower than Pauline, so we cover the range pretty well. She is a good singer. I am a bad singer who can be pitch corrected. Thank God for Vari Audio. But I'm pretty happy with the results. And lots has been thrown away. There are whole sections of emptiness where I did sing and it was just too bad to keep. So I kept the stuff that's hideable and bury it nice and low. But it does provide that thickness that those 2 octaves simply weren't being covered by Pauline's voice, because she obviously sings up in the 3rd and 4th octave registers and I'm down in the 1st and 2nd. So when we combine together, then it sounds pretty good. So very happy with that. That's been a big enhancement. I don't know how this is going to impact the mixing, because obviously I am directly competing with the bass and other low. There's not much of a kick in this song, but what there is, I am going to be stomping all over those things. So that's going to be a challenge in mixing, to make sure I don't get in the way of things that are more important than me. But I wanted to try my hand at doing some backing vocals, so I'm reasonably happy with the results. The guitar solo, let me turn all that stuff off, come down here. So we've now doubled up. So this is 2 completely independent guitar lines that are going to be panned hard left and right. And again, it's only when I get to the mastering stage that I'll figure out whether or not I've got problems with this, because they might be played too closely to each other. So you get the idea anyway. So I figured that if I played it twice, I didn't really want to play it that accurately. The 2 are almost identical, and it would have been nice if there'd been a little bit of difference. I might try moving one in time, or maybe putting different effects on each of them to try to create some kind of disparity, but they are 2 separate lines played differently, and if I pan them, you get a nicer effect than if it was just one in mono. So that's that. We've also got a synth line that's new. There was a delay bouncy thing you might have noticed a little bit later on in the song. It starts here. So this is Omnisphere in one ear and Air's hybrid synth in the other. It's nice. So I don't know where this is going to sit in the mix. I just wanted a little bit more articulation at the end of the song, something a little bit new, a new sound to come in as the song it's approaching its climax here. All the voices are in, the crescendo is rising, we're just about to go into the main the harmony outro. So I wanted a new sound to have an impact, so I'll have to find a place in the mix for that to live. And again, it's directly competing with the main vocal line, so I might just be causing myself trouble here, but it's in, so we'll figure out what to do with it. I might double the bass line up, just like I did with Hummingbird, but that's fine. I can do that now. That will be one of the very first things I do, because that's again going to tie quite strongly into how the song gets mixed. So from this point onwards, we're into that. I'll see what I learned with the Hummingbird project in terms of the mixing and mastering process, and hopefully I'll acquire a few new skills, learn to use referencing better than I had the first time around, rely a little bit less on Nectar and Ozone, which I lent almost exclusively on for the Hummingbird mastering process. I'll try to do a little bit more of that heavy lifting myself. Hopefully my second song will be hot on the heels of the first one, and if you consider subscribing and hitting notifications, then you'll find out when the next version of the song comes out, hopefully the final version, and I'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching.